All right, Shalom. This is Knox Amba Yasharala from the GMS Lions Den Camp. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakak Badash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostle of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth throughout the four corners of the earth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, it says America's next top villain is China, lined up to replace Russia as the United States' default enemy. All right, so basically, you got more than China rising up against America. You got Iran, you got Russia, North Korea, but it's saying China is going to replace Russia as being the top villain. All right, it says recent provocations in the South China Sea following rising tensions between the U.S. and China, but with rivalry expanding into the economic and political spheres, it seems Beijing is now encroaching on Russia's top villain's status. On Monday, the USS Decatur nearly collided with a Chinese destroyer sent to escort the U.S. vessel operating in the South China Sea. And they've been telling, ever since they started building those military bases in the South China Sea, China has been warning America about meddling over there in their affairs. You know, they're trying to tell them to stay well away from what they have going on. All right, it says, but naval maneuvers in the dispute waterway are just one element of the high stakes rivalry between Washington and Beijing. On the economic front, the Trump administration has slapped tariffs on $260 billion worth of Chinese goods and is now threatened to target practically all of Chinese exports to the U.S. Amid the open economic warfare and military provocation in the South China Sea, last week Trump leveled fresh accusations of political meddling against Beijing, speaking before the UN Security Council. The U.S. leader claimed that China was attempting to interfere in our upcoming elections in 2018 election, adding that his administration was being targeted because he was the first president ever to challenge China on trade. All right, and then when he set those tariffs, I did a lesson last week on an article that said if they don't fix this problem about these tariffs, China is going to take some heavy action, more than likely military action. All right, it says, and Trump isn't the only one in his administration pointing the finger at Beijing for sneaking formerly exclusively Russian antics. The president's dictator of national intelligence, Dan Coats, said in a speech in September that China was targeting state and local governments and officials. It's trying to exploit any division between federal and local levels on policy and uses investments and other incentives to expand its influence, Coats claimed. All right, so basically they're saying like they're pointing the finger at at China, like how they were doing with Russia. So the Republicans are pointing the finger at China, while the Democrats are pointing the finger at Russia for meddling. All right, I'm gonna put a matter of fact, I'm gonna put a description. I'm gonna put the link to this in the description box. Hold on, copy to clipboard. All right, so basically, there you have it. You know, I'm not gonna read the whole article, but China is being lined up as the next top villain to the United States, but which it doesn't cool anything down between Russia and the United States. It just puts America in a more vulnerable position. All right. This is Jeremiah 50:2. It says, "Declare ye among the nations, and publish and set up a standard. Publish and conceal not. Say, Babylon is taken, Bel is confounded. Merodach is broken in pieces. Her idols are confounded. Her images are broken in pieces. For out of the north there cometh up a nation against her, which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell therein. They shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. All right. So basically, out of the north, you're gonna have Russia come, right? And guess who's gonna be alongside with Russia? China, Iran, all these nations are coming up against America, man. Let me skip down to 14. Really, if you want to really, Jeremiah 50 and 51 is real good scriptures talking about the plagues. All right. It says, let me go to um all right, let me skip down. I'm gonna skip around in 50 because it's pretty long. This is Jeremiah 50 and 13. It says, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her at all her plagues. And Iraq today is modern day Mesopotamia, or modern day Babylon, be Iraq. So you know it's not desolate. As a matter of fact, all right, this is modern day Iraq right here. As you can see, it's not desolate. It's very lively. You know, nice city. So that Iraq that it's talking about in Jeremiah, I mean that Babylon that it's talking about in Jeremiah is America. All right, this is Jeremiah 50 and 14. Slakia, Slakia. It says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. All ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hands, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. Yeah, America's defense system is weak. So at any given time, these nations can rush in as a flood against Babylon. All right, it says, her walls are thrown down, for it is the vengeance of the Lord. Take vengeance upon her. As she had done, do unto her. All right. And I'm going to close it out. I'm going to skip down to 25. It says, the Lord hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. All right. The Most High is bringing all these armies together to come against America and the so-called white man. It says, come against her from the utmost border, open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps, and destroy her utterly. Let nothing of her be left. All right. Slay all her bullocks. Let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, Shlakia, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon to declare in Zion the vengeance of the Lord our power, the vengeance of his temple. And that temple are the elect of Israel right now. With that being said, I want to give all glory and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Harvard Kakwadash, my mom. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the archon that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Oh, in addition to that, Iran had a celebration where they launched the missile, and on the missile it had written, "Death to America." Shalom.